Hey guys, welcome to another GameXplain discussion. I'm your host, Andrew Seegers, and this time we're joined by Derek Bittner and Ash Paulson to discuss the news Zelda Wii U might not be released in 2015. So let's get started. Alright guys, this just came out. Nintendo released a video with basically an update from Aonuma himself, talking about the progress of Zelda Wii U. And he said it may not be coming out this year. Releasing it this year is no longer a priority. They apparently discovered some stuff while playing or while producing the game that they wanted to explore, and in the process of exploring those options, they discovered even more stuff they wanted to do with the game. So, basically, even though Aonuma left open the possibility of it coming out this year, to me it sounds like there's not a chance in hell it's coming out this year. But I want to get your guys' take. What do you guys think about this news, and what do you think of the odds of it actually coming out this year are?
I think pretty much nil at this point. Like, I was always one of the proponents, like, yeah, they can totally come out with Zelda Wii U this year. I was like, you guys are being too negative if you don't think it's going to come out. Like, they're going to stick to it. They've been doing really good about that. And once again, thank you, Nintendo, for proving me wrong. But no, I think overall, this is not a bad thing. Yeah, it sucks that we're not going to be playing it right away, but what he's saying about their development process and how it's expanded and the things they're discovering is like, that kind of makes me excited. I'm like, okay, let's see where you're going with this. It sounds like they're really changing up the formula and doing something completely different, or at least marginally different. And I'm willing to wait that amount of time in order to see what they come up with.
Well, I gotta say, Nintendo had me fooled. I really thought it was going to come out this year at the end of 2015, because I figured this was the Wii U's big holiday game. Now that it's not, I really have no idea what the Wii U's big holiday game is.
Maybe that's why they took away the early 2015 from Mario Maker.
Yeah, seriously.
Oh boy.
But I mean, honestly, I was fooled. I really thought it was coming this year, and the cynic in me can't help but wonder if Aonuma saying that, we discovered new possibilities, and those possibilities discovered to even more possibilities, and where, we want to make the best game we can, isn't just PR speak for where we've run into development trouble because this game is, really big and we just need more time to finish it. Like, I wonder if this is really just a regular delay masked as like, hey, it's getting bigger and bigger and we're gonna make this the best Zelda game we can,
I had the exact same reaction, Ash. I'm like, this seems like the most amount of spin I've seen Nintendo do in some time.
Yeah.
Maybe he's using the spinner item from Twilight Princess.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I feel the same way. Like, it actually, retroactively, in a way, makes me concerned for everything we've seen up to this point. Because everything we saw was promising, but we also didn't see that much. And now it's making me wonder, like, how much was there actually done before, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. This is weird. This is pretty surprising. I was with you. Like, I thought for sure they had to release the game this year. Like, Nintendo needed a big game this year, and evidently Nintendo no longer thinks that way. Or who knows what kind of shape this game was even in. Maybe development was going fine, and they really just have a lot of new ideas they wanted to add. But I am thinking closer to the lines of you, Ash. That they're hitting some issues that need to be resolved.
You guys are just way too negative.
Well, I just think it's a possibility. I'm not saying that's exactly what's going on. I just think
we don't know for sure.
It is possible that this is just a regular delayed spun is something more positive. But I almost think that the more interesting part of this is what it means for the Wii U as a whole, because I know a lot of people, in my opinion, erroneously thought that Nintendo announcing the NX meant that they were suddenly and immediately giving up on the Wii U, and I never thought that was the case, and I think now we kind of know for sure, at least, that Nintendo is guaranteed to support the Wii U through 2016, because Zelda's now probably coming in 2016, and that's not going to be the only game they release.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. I think we're looking at least 2 more years of Wii U support, which shouldn't be really that surprising to people, but for some reason, a lot of people seem to have thought that the NX suddenly meant that the Wii U was dead.
Well, unless it becomes a launch title for Project NX, like Twilight Princess did with the Wii. But putting that aside, it does basically confirm we now have support for the Wii U through some point in 2016.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, and it's it's easy to say, well, the Wii U's holidays is ruined and it's got nothing. But E3 hasn't happened yet, and game development, especially with Nintendo, they develop games for a long time before they actually announce them. So we really have no idea what else they could have, kind of coming up for the Wii U this year that could be a good holiday title.
Exactly. We still have Star Fox. We haven't seen really much of anything of that game.
Exactly.
That's going to be the new big title.
That's a good one. It kind of has to be now. I almost wonder now they're going to put more resources into it than what they suggested initially. Because it sounded like they were trying to pump that game out as quickly as possible. And I wonder if they're going to... I mean, granted, who knows what exactly that means. But I wonder now that is going to be their tentpole holiday title, and they're going to put more resources into it to make sure it's up to that caliber.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was going to say it's entirely possible. I mean, they need something unless they have something huge to announce this E3. I don't see anything else really taking that moniker away from them. I mean, there's quite a few games that could do it, but they haven't announced anything yet.
Well, I mean, that's true. They could announce something else, but besides that, all else we know of is what? X, Yoshi's Woolly World, and Mario Maker, right? Is that basically it? And Star Fox, of course.
I think
Pretty
that's
much.
it. But I also think, like, kind of what I was touching on before, I think it's too early to say that we know everything that's coming up for the Wii U this holiday season, because again, E3 hasn't happened yet, and Nintendo tends to develop games for years before they actually announce them. So I'm not ready to call, I'm not ready to believe yet that the Wii U's holiday is in trouble, because I still think there's a possibility that there could be at least one or two other games coming up that we don't know anything about. I mean, what's Retro been working on?
Yeah,
so
that's true.
Yeah, so I don't think I think it's too early to call it for the Wii U's holiday and say, well, Zelda's gone, so there's really nothing else, and they're just going to have to slot something else in there, because there could be something else coming.
Yeah, there very well could be. I mean, and with the fact that I feel like with the fact that we now know Zelda won't be at E3, like they do have to have something big to fill that slot. And again, it could be Star Fox, but
that's actually I think maybe the most surprising part of this whole thing to me is that Zelda's not going to be at E3, which tells me that I don't know, it kind of tells me, that this maybe is a real delay just spun as something more positive, because if it's not even going to be at E3, then it can't be anywhere near ready.
Right? I mean,
that surprises me.
That's the crazy thing. Like, they just showed it off a few months ago.
Yeah.
Several months after E3. Like, what happened since then exactly?
I wonder if something came up that they really just wanted to change the entire development direction. Like, maybe even something as core as the game concept. Like, I wonder if what we saw at the Game Awards is going to end up not being anywhere close to the final game.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that could be. That very well could be.
It's a possibility, but it also could be, like, we've seen Nintendo do this before. Wasn't there one year where they said, like, Brawl wasn't going to be at E3, and then they had it behind the closed doors thing, and they showed off Brawl? And
that's true.
They could do a much smaller thing, like instead of having, like, how they did that same room for like Pokemon X and Y.
Right.
They could probably use that small room again just to show off a little bit about Zelda as well as something else. So I'm not counting out completely, but I think it's not going to have the major presence that most people expected at E3. If it does show up, it's going to be very small. Maybe show a direction, maybe some teasers, something to that effect.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of inclined to take them at their word that it really won't be there at all. I don't know. Who knows? And I do hope that they have at least a trailer for it. But it definitely won't be playable. So
yeah, which, I mean, if it's not going to be playable at E3, that tells me. I mean, I hate to say that it won't come out until fall of next year or holiday next year, but that's possible.
Oh, I'm almost confident that's what this means now.
Yeah.
And maybe it won't. Who knows? But I'm kind of leaning in that direction. I think it will be a full year. It could be a full year delay.
Right. Well, then, I mean, in that case, that's good for Wii U owners, because that means they're not going to abandon the Wii U, at least until then. Not that I really thought they were going to anyway, but, that's pretty much proof positive that they won't.
I mean, if anything, like, as Derek said earlier, like, it's kind of a good thing. Like, I mean, it sucks. It also means Zelda Wii U probably wasn't as good a shape as we imagined it to be. But delays do happen. Ocarina of Time was delayed a lot back in the day. This isn't the first time Nintendo's delayed a game. Granted, they've been a lot better about it in recent years, which kind of makes this all the more surprising. But, this ultimately will lead to a better product. Nintendo historically, does, Shigeru Miyamoto himself has said, right, like, if you release a game, early, it'll be bad forever, but if you delay it, everyone will forget it. Something, I just butchered that quote completely.
No, I know what you mean, though.
Yeah, you know what I mean. People only remember the game for being good. Granted, it could affect sales, but, it's more important to maintain the Zelda brand integrity than it is to cash in, what you can on the Wii U to get holiday sales.
Oh, I completely agree, and that's just how I feel about delays in general. I mean, they're always unfortunate, they're always, they're never fun to deal with, but
right.
I will always take a delayed game that's better in the end than a worse game that's rushed out, to meet a specific schedule. I will always prefer the delay if that's what needs to happen.
Yeah. I mean, if anything, I'm, again, assuming, if we take anything he's saying for granted, or, at face value, I should say, not for granted, if they actually did stumble across some new ideas, I'm really curious to see what those are.
Yeah,
Like,
same here.
I mean, even if that is like some spin, or even if that is spin, right? I mean, clearly they have to be doing something with Zelda that we haven't fully seen before. So no matter what, I am really eager to see what exactly he's talking about. It just means we may not be seeing it for a while.
Yeah, no, it's definitely going to be. Yeah, I mean, maybe end of year we'll see some more about it. But if it's not happening at E3, then yeah, maybe TGS possibly. But I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that could be. I mean, there could still be rumors showing off later this year. Although Nintendo usually doesn't do anything at TGS.
No, they don't. So,
but they, they could do their own thing. Could have, maybe in lieu of a Zelda release, an official Zelda release, we get a Zelda Direct later in the year. Here's our progress for the game so far.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right, well, I think that about wraps up for us here. So thanks for watching, guys. If you liked our discussion, make sure to like and follow us on Facebook and Twitter at GameXplain. You can find links to in the description below. It's a good way to keep up to date on everything we post. And of course, keep an eye on GameXplain.com for more on Zelda Wii U at whatever point they decide to announce it, and other things gaming as well. All right, thanks, guys. Bye.